the best. Ain't nobody gonna match this, cause I am.
Welcome back to another episode of Zachary's Kitchen. Recently on my last post, I got a request to make a moist banana bread with creamy frosting. And let me tell you what, this recipe is just that. In this season, fall, you think a lot about pumpkin and pumpkin pie, apple pie. Banana bread is a good change-up, especially on a cold day like it is today, November 8th, 2019. So anyways, what I'm going to do here is I'm going to show you a quick and easy recipe for a nice banana bread with a creamy frosting. So what I've done is already got my equipment set up just to help expedite the process. And I've already preheated my oven. So you're going to want to preheat your oven up to 325 degrees. Now the first thing I'm going to do, I'm going to have a wet bowl and I'm going to have a dry bowl. I'm going to use my smaller bowl for my dry bowl first here. So the first thing I need is 2 cups of flour. I use unbleached flour. I think it's the best. Why would you want to eat bleach? That's just my opinion on that. So I got 2. I just do a flat top. So there we go. 2 cups of flour there. And one thing I like to do when I'm baking is I make a big mess. If anyone knows me, I make a mess. I spill things, I drop things. I'll clean up as I go. Example. So I got my flour there. Another thing I'm going to grab real quick is a little bit of baking soda and salt. For my salt, I don't really measure it. I don't like to use a lot. So I'll just sprinkle a little bit in there. So, I mean, I'm not usually really measuring anything. Technically, if you want to, you could probably use 1/4 of a teaspoon. I mean, that should be sufficient. Let me go over here. I gotta grab a utensil to measure out my baking soda. For my baking soda, I'm gonna just use a teaspoon of that. That should be sufficient. So let me come into my drawer here. I have a 1/2 teaspoon, so I'm gonna do 2 of them. So for those watching at home, you're like, hey, you said 1. Well, this is a 1/2, so make it up as we go. Got a big box here. Makes it a little harder to spoon it out, but I think that should be good. If not, what's the difference? Should a little bit on there. Alright. I'm going to put this back in the drawer. A lot of the times if I just use a powder or something like this, I just throw it right back in the drawer, you know. Why would I want to deal with that? So I'm going to put my baking soda back over there. What I've also gone ahead and done is I set my butter out a couple hours in advance for the frosting. So for that, just get 1 stick of butter. I use unsalted, and just whatever butter is cheap, just because butter can get expensive. And I let this sit out a couple hours. A lot of times you could, people say, just put it in the microwave for a little bit. I don't believe in that. Let me tell you why. Because I feel like it really messes with the texture of your product. When you allow it to sit out, it breaks down naturally. And I think it makes it a lot better for your icing in the end. If you don't believe me, go ahead and try it both ways and tell me which one's better. I go ahead and I sprinkle a little bit of cinnamon into my dry product as well. I love a cinnamony taste in anything. I use it cookies, I use it for pancakes, waffles, you name it. So now I got that here. I'm going to set this aside out of my way to give you the viewers at home a better look at what I'm doing. I'm going to put this way. Unfortunately, I started to get this video ready and I realized I didn't have sugar. I had to go get some sugar at my local Kroger. And for you those who may be aware, I'm not really happy with Kroger right now after all that's been going on. First off, here we go. I'll give you guys a little taste of my life. I love chocolate chips. I love to eat these. So when I go and buy jumbo chocolate chips, I'm like, even my phone's getting excited right now. So when I buy chocolate chips, I like to know that those are some hearty chocolate chips, jumbo, like I was showing you. Let me pull one out for you. Can you see it? Is that jumbo? I don't think so, Kroger. You'll be getting an email from me shortly. We'll leave those out, but I'm still gonna eat them later. Another thing, they got rid of their peanut butter. So they had a peanut butter grinder there, they get rid of it. And don't even tell me. I go one day it's there, the next it's gone. So I'm stuck with this natural creamy peanut butter that if you put it on a sandwich, it's like peanut butter soup. Even in the fridge, it's still very liquidy and salty. I hate that. Ugh. All right, back to the task at hand. Next, we're going to add in a cup of sugar. And that's a lot of sugar. That's probably why this is so good. I'll use the same thing I use for my flour, just make a mess, dump the rest of it out. I'm going to get a good cup of sugar. And I'm not too worried if I don't get it all. But yeah, it's a flat cup there, that's good. Because what I like to do, actually, I like to add a little bit of brown sugar in too. Brown sugar, I feel like is so versatile in so many different ways. I'll just sprinkle a little bit. I don't want too much because there's a lot in there. But I just think brown sugar really makes it or breaks some recipes. A lot of the times you don't want to use it, but when you use it right, it's tasty. Put this back in. The next thing I'm going to add is a half a cup of vegetable oil. What I have here is just your normal Kroger vegetable oil. Unfortunately, Kroger, sometimes it has good deals. So I'm going to use half a cup of my vegetable oil here. Pour that in there. A little splash and I never hurt anyone. Help with this moisture. Wait till you guys hear about the secret ingredient I'm going to tell you guys coming up here shortly. Now, I'll take one farm fresh egg from Kroger. Prices have gone up in the past year. I remember we used to buy 16 eggs, 89 cents. Now, $1.19. 30 cents. That's a lot when you only originally were paying 89 cents. You know, almost double the price. So, what I'm going to do here, I'm going to go ahead and mix this up really well. Until you get a almost paste. I mean, it's still going to be something that's very viscous. It's just a lot of sugar, oil, and an egg. So it's not going to be runny by any means. I'll even show you. So what it is, it looks almost like a pudding, but it's really grainy from the sugar. So that's our wet ingredients there. You know what? I'll add a little honey. Honey never hurt anyone. Really good, sweet Kroger honey. Should be endorsed. So I'll just mix that in real quick. I didn't add too much in. Alright. So next, what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and add in my dry ingredients to the wet mixture here. So what you're going to get is something that's very dry and flaky and crumbly. But that's what we're aiming for. I'm going to go ahead and use one of these coffee filters to set my whisk on, because I will be using that. And I'm going to go ahead and take this sweatshirt off real quick, because this kitchen is heating up. This recipe is very easy, by the way. I mean, if you guys are watching at home, you're like, yeah, there's something there. I could do that. Well, yeah, you probably could. It's the directions. You just follow it. So what I'm going to do, slowly add this in. I'm not going to do it all at once. But I'm going to go ahead and get that started in there. And like I said, it's going to be tough. It's going to be a dry mixture. That's what you want. I'll go ahead and add the rest in there. I actually lost a lot on this. I'm going to try to scrape that off. There we go. So now we're going to go ahead. It might take you a minute or two to get it all incorporated, but I like to make sure I at least get all in there good. So that prevents anything like separations when you're actually forming your banana bread. Also take this time just to say it's been a rough week for all those who've been having a rough week. Just hang in there. It's the weekend. Holidays are coming up. So speaking of holidays, like I said, this would be something great to bring. You know, you may not have a gift to give, but you may have a loaf of banana bread. So it's a really good gift. It's really cheap. Bananas literally cost you about a quarter nowadays. For just 3, because that's all this recipe calls for, just 3 bananas. I'm just trying to make sure I get everything up off the bottom of this bowl too. This probably wasn't the best whisk to use because it is very flimsy. But let me go ahead and show you. So that's what your mixture's gonna look like. Almost like a, I don't know what that looks like, but that's what it looks like. So I'm gonna set this down for now. Let me just get one more good go at it. And this is the fun part. So I take this bowl. I like to reuse things, less worshing to do later. What I'm gonna do is I'm gonna grab my 3 ripened, very ripe bananas. Got these at Drug Mart actually, so shout out to Drug Mart. Whenever I can support a good business, I will. So I put those in there one at a time. Even when you're pulling them out of the banana peels, go ahead and you can always pinch one off. Helps make it easier to mash up a little later on. So 3 bananas, like I said, very ripe. So prepare. I mean, you could always buy them a day advanced or a day or two. A lot of the times when I go to Kroger, they're green. I go to Drug Mart and these bad boys are already ripened up. So what I'll do here, I'm gonna add in a little bit of vanilla. I love vanilla. I'm gonna add a good amount. I don't think you can go wrong with it. And then for the secret ingredient, I will give Kroger credit on this one. It is their Carbmaster Banana Cream Pie yogurt. This is what makes this banana bread moist. And believe it may you be, it's only 70 calories for one delicious yogurt. You're like, hey, I'm eating a banana pie. Nope, it's a yogurt. So what I'm gonna do, I don't use the full thing. Probably use about 3/4. I don't want to overdo it. I've never really messed around with it too much. I've used it this way and it's been good, so we keep it that way. So what I'm doing now, I'm just using that same whisk. I'm beating this. I'm beating it. You can even give it a little shake. It smells good. I mean, this banana with this yogurt and vanilla, I feel like that would just be a snack in itself, to be honest, with a graham cracker, or people like vanilla wafers. I don't. But you want to get this nice and creamy. I like to make sure I get every little chunk of banana. I don't want chunks. I want a fine mixture here. Once again, this is a very poor choice of whisk. To try to on my bananas. Let me show you. It actually just looks like the yogurt, but it's not. There's 3 bananas in that, believe it or not. So I'm just continuing to break these banana pieces up. Any questions about how I did this or prepared, please leave your comments below. Any recommendations, like I always say, please leave your comments below. Don't forget to like and subscribe. As I continue to beat these bananas up like they owe me money. So that's pretty much good. I don't see any chunks, and if I do, they're very minor, negligible. What I actually will do now is I'll grab a spatula like this, because this will help me get everything out at the end. So I'll go ahead. I kind of have a hole formed in my dry, crumbly mixture. I'm going to set this down. I should have kept that, but that's fine. And I'll just make sure I get every last drop, because every bit counts. So there it goes into our bowl. And what I'm going to do, mix this all up with our dry ingredients. Once again, this is a terrible whisk. I tell myself every time, don't use this one. And here we are again. Because I don't want to over mix this batter. Yeah, I can really harden up your flour product in there. So what I'm going to do, I'm actually going to grab the big guns. The metal whisk. Coming to save the day. Let me rinse my hands off real quick. The bad whisk got banana all over me. So I'm going to just set this down here, black this out. Thank you guys for joining me today. I know these videos may seem a little long, but I want to show you real time. The cooking and baking, it doesn't need to be a long time. It really doesn't. So at this point, it is a little dry still. So that's where the milk comes in. If you've been wondering if I just leave my milk sit out on the counter, no, I don't. It's for this recipe. So just to finish it off, I just use a little splash of milk. A lot of times you can use buttermilk. I prefer this just because what I have. I'm not gonna make a special trip to buy buttermilk. So that just goes to show you that you can ball on a budget, as me and Ray like to say. My beautiful fiance, by the way. Check below or whatever. We can talk about that another time. I'd love to talk to you guys about that. So what I do, I got my mixture here. Almost looks like a pancake batter. And if you guys are a fan or not, I'm gonna add walnuts in. I love walnuts. I love any nut. I hate to keep dogging on Kroger. They got rid of a lot of their stuff, I feel like, in their fresh section. They used to just have these walnut pieces. These are whole walnuts, which I mean are fine. They just jack the price up. So I'm going to go ahead, take a handful of my walnuts. I don't want to do too much. I don't want to ruin the bread too much. I don't want too many big pieces in there either, though. So we'll go ahead and put those in there. Give that a good mix. And that's it, guys. That's all she wrote. This banana bread is done. I'll put a little more in there just because I can kind of eyeball and see that that's maybe not as much as I want. So, that's it. What I'm going to do, I like to take my pan, my baking pan, my bread pan here, very versatile, use it for every bread I make. Line it with some butter, pop this bad boy in the oven for about an hour. And we'll show you the next steps next. We'll be right back. Alright everybody, welcome back. Just took this bread out of the oven. I'm still letting it sit in the pan to cool down. I like it to leave it in the pan just so it like not burns, but crispens up the edges. So that's the banana bread now. So what we're going to go ahead and do now is make our easy 3-ingredient icing. I'm going to go ahead and worship my hands now. Just like to wash my hands just in case. Plus I like to, if I get any icing, I like to lick it off my fingers. So we'll go ahead. First ingredient is that butter that's been sitting out all day. So if you look, it's soft. So I'm gonna go ahead and roll that. You can cut it up into little chunks. Makes it easier to blend. But that's fine. The next thing I'm gonna add my clear vanilla. I like to add clear because it doesn't give the icing a brown look. It's more, it just gives that full white look. That looks nice. So we're gonna go ahead. Get this butter kind of whipped up. The hardest part is that it sits on your whisk like that. But that's fine. If you work it, it will work itself off eventually. This is just one of those things you learn over time. So that's that. It's stuck. I'm gonna get my spatula here. We'll scrap it off. Right, Alan? Alan's finally up for the day. It's only almost 4 o'clock, but he's up. There we go. If you just get a little bit off and then shake it around in there, that will help you out a whole lot. Use one of our another trusty, expensive coffee filters for a rest. Shake it around like that a bit. And the first thing I'm doing, I'm just really airing up this butter. So that'll give your buttercream a nice and fluffy texture and appearance. So I'll get that mixed in there. I'll come show you guys after I add the next ingredient. So I said 3 ingredients, I guess I misspoke, it's 4. So next what we're going to add in is our banana flavoring. Usually I use a McCormick. Let's see how much this gives us. That's not as much as I want. I ran out, so lo and behold, guess what we have? Kroger banana flavoring. So hopefully this is good. I've actually never used it before. We'll do a taste test and I'll let you know. These things you can never peel and lift. My pharmacy friends, you may know that. That's a little more of a stronger flavor, so okay, not too much. This is extract, so it's very, very potent. So this helps too, so the liquid from the vanilla, as well as the banana flavoring, will give you that little bit softer of the butter. I'm having a lot of trouble here today, folks. Never usually goes this way. But we're gonna do this, and I'm just gonna set that down, just kind of pat it down in there. Beautiful. And then our last ingredient that we add in, powdered sugar. Now I eyeball it just from experience. I use about 3 cups, I guess you could say, give or take. Because half of it ends up on the floor anyways, but it just depends on the texture you're wanting. And we can talk more about that as we go along. So I'm gonna get my beat. I'm gonna slowly start it, just because if you go too fast, just like anything, it's gonna start flying everywhere. Slowly get this going. A lot of people add milk, and I don't really like that. I think you can get it a nice good texture just as is with the butter and the powdered sugar. This also is another thing that helps get that butter so it stops sticking to everything, just because you're adding in, you know, a more solid substance. So right away I already can see the icing starting to form. And that's all you do, folks. So I'm gonna sit here, and I've literally stirred this for about 5 minutes. It's a really great workout. Sometimes I switch arms just to make sure I'm getting both arms done. And I'll continually to gradually add more powdered sugar to get the required texture. And we'll be back later to ice the cake. Bread. Hello and welcome back into the kitchen. It's been a long day of preparing our bread. But what we have here is our iced banana bread. I went ahead and took the liberty to ice it up real quick. And now what I'm going to do is our final touches. I've been roasting some walnuts in the stove for just a few minutes here. And I'm going to top this bad boy off. Like I said, this is a real easy and special treat to do. Ooh, those babies hot. Oh gosh. I should have waited a second before I pulled that out of the oven. So what I'm going to do is continue to sprinkle these on through the pan. Any questions about the icing, the bread in general, what I did at all, shoot me a comment. You know, I love answering my fans. You know what? I even hope that you guys show this video to other friends, other family, and show them how much fun it can be to bake, how tasty it can be to bake, and all of that. I'm gonna rinse my hands off real quick here, friends. And we'll put on the finishing touches. Like always, like, recommend, subscribe, share. I'm gonna go into my space counter here and just get a little dab of cinnamon on the top of our banana bread. This looks like it could be in a commercial. Let me bring this over to you guys. And there we have it. Zachary's banana bread. Fresh, ready to consume. I want to thank you guys once again for coming into my kitchen tonight. It's been a pleasure. And as always, thank you.